guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate, or I go by AlwaysMoreSims here on YouTube, and today we are doing a current household for the month of December. So this is the first part of at least the first current household. I don't know if I'll get around to another current household video for December but there should be at least 2 generations in this one. So I just need you to take a moment to appreciate this, the landscaping of this house, okay? All these pathways and the slopes and the stairs and the little gazebo and the greenhouse and more stairs, the way that this house, excuse me. The landscaping of this house just blows me away. I could never. The game is being very laggy as well. I do want to say though, really quick, that this house, you will have to move some of the bushes if you intend on using the greenhouse. My plants are dead. There's a couple of these bushes are in the way of the path, and so your Sims can't actually get down there unless you move the bushes. But other than that, everything is, well, I don't think the monkey bars are accessible, and your Sims might throw a bit of a fit trying to use this. They can use it, as seen by my child Sim here, but sometimes they get a little if you tell them to use it, it's almost like they're no, I can't use it, but then they'll go out here and use it autonomously. So I don't know. This is probably the biggest house I've played in a while. It is very nice. It's a really big house. It's a big lot. I don't know. I think it's really pretty. But let me find it first. Am I blind? Here. I just needed to scroll down a little further. Okay, so I one of my last, the last few houses I've used was from Andrea Lundberg, and for the most part, their houses are really playable. Every once in a while, I'll find things that are just that glitch out or that don't really work properly. But for the most part, this house, the only issue I've had is having to move the bushes out back. So you have this little this is an in-law suite. But then there's also this room, which is separate. I wonder almost if this was a butler's quarters kind of thing. I think there was a whole kitchenette little over here. I'm I don't want a kitchenette. There was also a fridge and a countertop in this little house. But then there's the main kitchen. There's a little half bath. The laundry room with the painting laundry machine and dryer. That always cracks me up. Living room, bedroom, we got an office. I'll actually let him sit down and write. There you go. Have you get some work done. We got more bedrooms upstairs, more bathrooms. This little storage area. Little back balcony. Yeah, this house is really nice. This whole lot is really nice. Why is this like that? I just now realized that. What is this? I think there was supposed to be maybe a roof there, and now there isn't. I don't know. Anyways, so we'll just go ahead and start. So this Sim up here, the one painting, this is the Sim that Geneva was pregnant with. His father is Henley, and yeah, this is Aldrin. Aldrin is an art lover. He's high maintenance and he's creative. So he's a painter. As you can see, he's here painting. I had him take the day off work, actually. He's painter level 5, has the painting aspiration, but I don't really pay that any attention. And Aldrin, he's pretty nice for the most part. Like, he can get a little snobbish with the high maintenance stuff, and that's one of the reasons why we have such a fancy house. Also, my Sims won the lottery for the first time ever. Like, I honestly thought that it was impossible for your Sims to win the lottery, but Geneva won the lottery, and this house is very expensive. So I saw how much the house was gonna cost. I gave, like, because we had a lot of simoleons. I want to say it was close to 1 million simoleons. It was a lot. I'm like, I've never had this much money in a Sims game. I took like the amount that the house would cost to move Aldrin into it, and then I took like an extra like 50,000 simoleons because the bills for this house are insane. Oh my god. And they just get more and more expensive every month as I have like more kids. We use like more facilities in the house. Yeah, the bills are insane. So, yeah, those have been kind of a struggle. We no longer have much money. In terms of like it's getting to the point that I'm kind of concerned that we'll be able to pay for the bills. I think we'll be okay this next bill payment time, but I think the time after that I'm going to be in a little bit of trouble. So anyways, Aldrin's like, he's a pretty good guy. He's got like the tattoo. Like, he doesn't really fit the style of the house. Like, it's a little too fancy for Aldrin. Like, he dresses very casually, and like despite being high maintenance, like he's just kind of like, for the most part, it's like whatever. But then there's that high maintenance trait that he's like, oh no, but I need everything to be really nice. So that is why the house is so fancy. So I'll come back to Aldrin's partner. We're gonna look at the first two kids who are actually sitting down here talking to each other and watching TV. Oh, okay. I forgot he has acne. Our firstborn over here. Poor guy's got acne. So speaking of our firstborn, this is Frankie right here on the right. Frankie actually ages up today. Frankie and my toddler both have a birthday today, but I wanted to get this recorded before I age him up and move him out. So Frankie is a dog lover and he's a vegetarian. He has the animal or Friends of the Animals like aspiration. He's a high school student. He's got a B. I was going to get him a partner, but then we have so many Sims in the house that I just never got around to it. But yeah, Frankie is our firstborn. And then this is his brother. This is Niall. Niall is hot-headed and creative. He has the master actor aspiration, and he actually is level 6 of acting. Because I don't know what else to do with him on the weekends. So he just stands in front of a mirror and practices acting all of the time. So these two are fully blood related. They have the same parents. And yeah, so their dad's name was Darius. Is he out here haunting his grave? Or is it just floating? I think it's just floating. This is Darius. So Darius drowned in the pool. He was an athlete and I had him outside swimming laps, and next thing I know, I'm getting a thing that he's drowning to death. So it was completely unintentional, but their dad died. And so I don't know, maybe if it'll like might show him. There's Darius. And I will show you all of the Sims on the gallery in just a moment. So yeah, these are Darius's two sons. Okay, we have Frankie and we have Niall. And then Aldrin remarried, because we were married to Darius. Then we remarried to another guy, and we had two more kids. So this is Dean. Dean is also hot-headed, but he's good. And yet he has the I didn't realize he was good. I kind of forgot about that, and I gave him the public enemy. Oh, that means he doesn't like being mean. Okay, I might have to change that. Anyways, this is Dean. I mean, He's a C student. I don't really know what all to say. Dean just aged up from a child into a teen, so like not much is going on with him. I don't really know what else to say. And then this is Symphony. So this was our first girl. Symphony is lazy. She has the whiz kid aspiration. So Symphony and Dean are fully blood related. They have the same parents. Their dad is named Beck, right here. And he's actually an elder, but he had like the like brown and gray hair swatch, and so I guess when he aged up into an elder, it didn't change that. Beck, I aged him up because he has like the brown gray hair swatch. I immediately like aged him up into an elder as soon as I moved him in, because I was like, oh, like maybe, you know, Aldrin was like, okay, like losing Darius just really hurt. It really sucked, and I just kind of, I want someone a little older than me, so I don't like have like I don't want to. It makes it okay. Let me. When I say that he wanted someone to like that could help him share the responsibility of having the kids, and someone, you know, older, it kind of makes it sound like Aldrin is some like teenage dad, and he's not. Aldrin was younger than Beck, is younger than Beck, and he's like, you know, maybe an older guy would be better, like, you know, I don't have to worry about him being reckless, or, you know, because we were still coming to grips with Darius's passing, so he was like, we were going through like all the stages of grief, and so I say, and so he was just like, okay, maybe, you know, if I go for someone older, you know, Beck was a what was Beck? What did Beck do? No, I don't remember. He's a gardener. So like he was the one that like did the stuff with the greenhouse, and so, you know, Aldrin was like, okay, he's a gardener, he can't get hurt being a gardener, I don't have to worry about him drowning in a pool if he's a gardener, like I don't have to worry about that. And so together they had Dean and Symphony, and I kind of love that Symphony so far has been our only child who is not a redhead. But shortly after Symphony was born, Beck met somebody else. His name was Andre, or is Andre. Andre's still alive. Beck met somebody else named Andre. Aldrin was constantly working, and on some level, Beck, you know, he wasn't close with Frankie or Niall, and to a point, it kind of made him feel weird that, you know, he was helping raise somebody else's kids, even though, you know, this other guy is like dead. It's not like he just like walked out. He's gone. But he still, to like a certain point, felt kind of weird raising this other guy's kids, living in this house that, you know, Aldrin and Darius had shared together. Like, he just felt kind of weird about it. And to him, that justified looking for somebody else. Aldrin was always working. He was always concerned with getting his paintings done. And he was just kind of like distracted artist, and Beck felt like he wasn't getting enough attention and was having to raise these kids, and 2 of them weren't his. And so he started looking for somebody else. He met Andre. Next thing I know, Beck's waddling around the house pregnant, and it was not Aldrin's kid, because they were like, Aldrin and Beck were like never together. They were like, they had, one was always working, one was always working with kids. They were just, I knew it was not Aldrin's kids. And I had Risky Woohoo turned on, so I'm like, I knew it was a possibility we'd get pregnant with Andre. It was set to like 10%, so I wasn't expecting it to happen, but it did. So Beck actually ended up having a child named Jax. As soon as Jax was born, Aldrin was like, that's not my kid. That's not my kid. I don't have black hair. And he was like, yeah, something's fishy. Well, he kind of let it go. And then he came home from work one day to find Beck and Andre, you know, woohooing, and it was like divorced on the spot. He was kicked out of the house. Beck turned around, moved in with Andre. They're married now. They have a son together. And yeah, so then that brings us to, I guess we'll come up here. We'll look at Reverie. So this is Reverie. She's our youngest. She's the toddler. Today is also her birthday. She's inquisitive. And her father is the man down here who is pregnant with our heir and who is currently writing. This is Harnan. Harnan is a freelance writer. He is self-assured, creative, and bro. He had a different trait, and I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was like the maker trait or whatever that comes with eco lifestyle. I'm like, I am never going to use that trait. I do not want that trait. So I re-randomized, took the first trait it gave me, and then I just put self-assured and creative back because he already had those traits, and I left bro, and then I gave him the writer aspiration instead of the maker one or whatever. Mans is very heavily pregnant, as you can see, again, with our heir. He is an adult, and he and Aldrin are not married. Aldrin has kind of been burned too many times by marriage, and will more than likely not marry Harnan. They will probably just remain, like, partners. Harnan is okay with this. Harnan is, like, I honestly love this sim. I think he's such a sweetheart. I always find him talking with the kids, and he just seems like, it's in my mind, I'm like, he's so genuine. He just loves the kids so much. Like, he's such a great guy. And he understands, like, kind of the pain that Aldrin's been through. And so he's like, I'm not going to push marriage. I know that Aldrin loves me. I know Aldrin won't cheat on me. I'm not worried about that. I love his kids. Like, I've come to see them as my own. I'm okay that they're not all mine. And yeah, so originally Beck was going to be like my last sim, but Beck was getting really old. And so honestly, that's why I had Beck start looking for somebody else, because I'm like, okay, I still want to have like 2 more kids. And Beck was, by the time he had given birth to Jax, Beck was already like 2 days from being an elder. I'm like, I don't have enough time, because I have aging during pregnancy enabled, so I'm like, I don't have enough time to have 2 more kids with Beck. So that is honestly the reason why we divorced. Well, okay, before Jax was born, he technically had 4 days because he got pregnant with 4 days left, but I was still like, I'm not gonna have enough time. So yeah, this generation has been full of drama, but different in ways that like past dramatic generations have been. So we'll look at the family tree. So this family tree is kind of blown up. This is like the most grandkids that have been born in a long time. Okay, like we're currently rivaling with Lennox on like grandkids. However, seeing as how we have another one on the way, we're gonna win. So anyways, we have Denali. Denali was our firstborn. She was married to Camellia, and together they had 2 kids. They had Nico and Skylar. And then let's see, Lennox was next, right? Well, wait, we had Lennox and Lyric were next. So Lennox is married to Whitney, and together they have Colton, Sterling, Ryan, Wayland, and Ramona. And then Ramona and Ryan are actually twins. Where is... nope. Lyric. Okay, so Lyric is married to Selena. They have Olive and Shayla. Tegan is married to Matthew. They have Brooklyn and Atticus. Tatum is married to Luna, and they have Jasmine, Kent, and Axel. And then there's us. So, again, pretty big generation. Biggest I've had in a while. Not just in the fact that, like, we're gonna have 8 kids this generation, which is a lot. But the fact that, like, my other Sims, I was constantly getting, like, the phone calls, like, should we try for a baby and stuff like that? And I haven't really been getting these last few generations. It's been a lot of, like, my Sims hardly even get married, but I've been getting I found a ring in the bag, should I say yes? And we've been thinking about trying for a baby, should we? And, like, I've been getting a lot of those phone calls. So the other kids have just the generation just kind of blew up. So last thing I will tell you, like, what was randomized for Aldrin, because I spin a wheel to decide like who we marry, if we cheat, if we do end up cheating, does the spouse find out? Is the spouse the parent, or is the affair the heir's parent? Like, I randomize all of this, and I actually think it's really fun, and also just, it helps me, because I feel like I get into kind of grooves where, like, I have, like, so many straight couples after a while, and then I have so many LGBT couples after a while, and then I feel like I'm really bad about going back and forth by myself, so I like that I just, like, spin. I'm like, oh, it's just whatever the wheel lands on. And I wanted more accurate representation without just, back and forth all the time. Like, I wanted to mix it up, like, so anyways. So I literally wrote it down. Aldrin, was going to stay loyal. We were going to remain faithful to our first spouse. We were not going to, like, there wasn't supposed to be any cheating. There wasn't supposed to be any widowing. None of that. It did end up changing, but I'm actually pretty content with how it worked out. It kept things interesting. Aldrin was going to marry a man. The heir was going, or the spouse was the one who was going to be pregnant. And then, yeah, I think that was all I randomized. When they remain faithful, I don't have to randomize as much. But yeah, the spouse or the other partner was going to be the one who got pregnant instead of the heir. So that is why Harnan, Beck, and Darius were all three the ones that got pregnant instead of Aldrin. And yeah, this is a very long first generation. These current household videos keep getting longer and longer, but I think that is all for this generation, so I will continue to play. I will more than likely have a second generation for this video. And yeah, so thank you guys, and I will see you all in a second. Bye. Okay, so I am back with the second generation. So this house is very different compared to our last house. Trying not to yawn. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. I'll show you the house really quick. Also, I realized that I forgot to show you the guys last time, and I don't remember. No, I think I showed you guys the house. But these are the 3 Sims that Aldrin was, like, in a relationship with. So this was his first husband. His name was originally Aaron. I renamed him to Darius. Then this was Beck, and then this was Harlan. I think it was Harlan. No, this was Harlan. I'm sorry. This is our current partner. This is Fabian. So all by the same person. You will see this sim here in a moment. And then the house we were in last time. See, I'm pretty sure I did show you the house because I had a hard time finding it. Where did it go? Wait, seriously, where'd the house go? It's right here. Right here. Okay, so this was the house we were in last time. I'm pretty sure I showed it off, but in case I did it was Andrea Lundberg's house, and then this is the house we're in now, by Milge, maybe. And I did do quite a bit of editing to the house. So initially, this staircase is actually 2 staircases. I don't know if this was supposed to be used almost as, like, kind of a townhouse, because there was, like, a really small kitchen where the computer is. Very small kitchen. There was a wall dividing the staircases. So there was one staircase going up, and then this half of the house, again with, like, a wall right here. And then there was this half of the house. But I just got rid of the wall. There was a wall here. I made that a half wall, made it one big staircase. I rearranged, like, the desk was originally over here, but it was just, like, really tight and, like, really crammed. And again, there was a kitchen here, and I'm like, oh, I don't need the second kitchen, so I moved all the desk, the chair, all the stuff on it, moved that over here. I don't really think I've done much else to the house, but I would consider that to be, quite a bit of having to remodel. So yeah, and it was this sim right here who is enjoying her steak for breakfast. This is the sim that Harlan was pregnant with just a couple minutes ago. This is Juniper. Juniper is a music lover, a bookworm, and outgoing. And like her father, she is a freelance writer. She has the best-selling author aspiration, but I didn't realize I'd given her the music aspiration on accident. So she's written like plenty of books, but I gave her the music one instead of the writer one by accident, which I didn't realize I had done. So yeah, girly here ages up in about a week. She's heavily pregnant. Can't really tell because she's like leaning into her dress, but she's very pregnant with our heir. And yeah, I guess I don't really know. I will come back to kind of like story for like the change of house. And she and her boyfriend Fabian are not married. All of the children have her last name, and I'll kind of explain that. So speaking of Fabian, this is him. He's not very happy because he's at risk of losing. He's constantly at risk of losing that stupid lifestyle, but it won't let me actually like have him work out while he has it, because then he's like, I'm too uncomfortable. It's really annoying. So he's a music lover, self-assured, and a goofball, and he's one of the Sims from Night Linus that has like a bajillion traits and like a bunch of different skills, and I think he has he has a degree. Like, not all of Night Linus' Sims come with like all the traits, like these traits, the traits or the skills or the degree, but some of them do, and I guess he was one of them. He's in the entertainer career. He's level 3. I feel like he never goes to work. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like this man never goes to work. But yeah, he's headed outside to do some grilling. So we'll start introducing the kids. This is our eldest. This is Pixie. I kid you not, Pixie literally just aged up. I just gave her a makeover. She's lactose intolerant and romantic, so, you know, she's got a C in school. Again, just aged up. We're going to turn that off. I gave her the soulmate aspiration. Don't know if she'll keep that, but I was like, I don't know what else to give her at the moment, so that's what she has. She is actually, you know, for all but one kid having red hair for the last generation, she's the only child so far that's had red hair, so I found that kind of interesting. Then we actually had a set of twins, which is actually these two. So this is Allegra. Allegra is evil, and she has the rambunctious scamp aspiration, and this is her twin sister Amity. And Amity is self-assured and has the artistic prodigy aspiration. I mean, they age up. They have 3 days. They are not triplets, I promise. I keep wanting to yawn. I promise they're not triplets. I feel like the children all look the same, and they're all girls, but they are not. This is Leilani. Leilani aged up yesterday, and she's outgoing, also an artistic prodigy. I don't really know what to say. She's newly aged up. So yeah, we've so far had all girls. I don't think I've ever had a generation of like having all of, you know, one gender. Like I normally have, you know, both boys and girls, occasionally non-binary. Like, so I'll be very surprised if Juniper actually ends up having another girl, but we will see. And then this is our puppy. This is Remington. He's an Australian Shepherd puppy. So our last dog died like maybe 2 days ago Sims time, and his name was Divot. I keep meaning to go into build by mode and turn this around. I feel bad that he's facing the corner. But this is Divot. It said when I adopted him that he was a corgi, but he didn't look like a corgi. But yeah, he was like a blue merle. He had the 2 different colored eyes like Remington has. So like I don't really know what he Divot technically was. But he just passed away, and then after my Sims were done being sad, we adopted another puppy. And yes, I love Aussies. I want an Aussie so bad. Oh my gosh. But I feel like that's really about it for The Sims. So if you remember, the last generation we were in like a very nice house, very big, very fancy, like a lot of, very clean, white, very spacious. And I feel like Juniper was just kind of like, meh. And then, like, that wasn't really something she was, like, she's not materialistic. She could really care less about having, like, really nice things. And then she met Fabian. However, she had heard, despite being the youngest, she had heard kind of, like, the stories, I guess, about her dad, having, like, 3 different partners. Like, the first partner died, the second partner cheated, and then like the only partner that ever remained faithful was her father, and they never actually, my dogs are deciding now is the time to play. Her father and both of her fathers, so like, but her like biological dad, so Aldrin's last partner was the only person that remained faithful to Aldrin, and they didn't get married. And so to Juniper, she's like, I think it just makes sense that we don't remain married. And Fabian was like, yeah, whatever. Like, Fabian's really chill. And so he's like, yeah, it's whatever. And his last name is Lancome, which is actually the last name that he already had when I placed him. Like, I didn't change the last name, and I always change the last name, so like something was clearly going on. But I was just it was kind of one of those things that like Fabian's like, yeah, I don't really care that they have my last name. Like, maybe someday if we get married, like maybe I'll take your last name. Like, Fabian has no attachment to his last name, and like some people are like that. They're like, yeah, I don't really care. And Fabian was just like, yeah, it's, if they take your last name, they take your last name. Like, it's really just, whatever. He doesn't really care. So all of the kids are have the last name Cawthon. The baby will have the last name Cawthon unless, like, it's a boy and they, well, I guess, unless, I typically do it where they take, like, if it's a girl, where they typically will take, their male partner's last name. I didn't hear, obviously, but that's usually how I do it, just for my sanity, like, so I know, like, who goes with who. But it tends to be that with like my same-sex marriages that like I kind of just pick and choose on whose last name I take. So I guess it just depends. I normally do it to whatever makes it easier for like labeling the video. Honestly, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, that is the actual reason why they don't have Fabian's last name and they aren't married. Because I didn't want to make it the Cawthon and Lancombs. I just wanted it to be the Cawthons. So, yeah. We can go ahead and look at the family tree if I could just stop yawning. Okay. Family tree kind of blew up. So, let's see. Frankie was the oldest. Frankie passed away from old age a while ago. He had one son named Moses with his partner Billy. And then Niall, so Frankie and Niall are biological brothers. They're Darius's sons. Niall had a son. His name is Lane with his partner Shayna. And I believe both of these two were married. And then who's next? Dean. So Dean is married to Fiona, and they have Ryan and Charlie together. And then Symphony, and these two again are like, they're both Beck's children, and Beck has a son named Jax. Jax has no life. But Symphony she was married to Clara. Clara apparently drowned, but together they had a son named Jim. And then we have Reverie, who is married to Summer. They have 4 kids, and then Summer's currently pregnant. So they have Aurora, and then Stevie and Simon, who are twins, Lavender, and again, Summer's pregnant. So, yeah, and then there's us. And then what I randomized for Juniper was that she was going to marry a male, she was going to remain faithful, she would be the one getting pregnant, which, I mean, is how I would have probably ended up, I mean, that's... I feel like I keep like putting my foot in my mouth in some way. And again, I'm always terrified of like offending people. Normally that really only applies if I have like same sex. Why did I randomize that? 'Cause I normally only do that with same sex marriages, you know, to determine like which. Anyways, Juniper was the one that got pregnant. And because she was faithful and she was the one pregnant and all that stuff, like there wasn't really much more to randomize. So, yeah, I think that's it for this current household though. I will see. I would like to say I'll have another current household, this month, especially since I have like a week and a half of school before, I'm out for winter break. So I would like to say I will have another current household up, but I can't promise anything, so I won't. But as of now, this is my current household for the month of December. I have my gaming channel and my Twitter both linked down in the description below. If you would like to check either thing out, I'd really appreciate it. I've been playing a lot of Gotham Knights lately. I won't really say much more about that, but I have been playing Gotham Knights. We played Plague Tale Requiem before, and we'll be playing the new Bendy and the Ink Machine game next. Like, we've got bunch of fun stuff going on. And I just kind of post. I haven't really posted on my Sims Twitter for a hot minute, but I typically will post updates on Twitter. If you would like to follow that, you can. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.